Hey, Todd Burrier from toddburrier.com. Today we're going to talk about 9 words that we need to remove from your vocabulary. So this is a personal development message that will really serve you in building your business because these are limiters. These are significant limiters, and the words we say and say to ourselves, and this is a pretty near and dear topic to me. I share from big stages how difficult it was for me early in my career, especially, but something I've had to work on my whole life. I just grew up with very, very low self-opinion and self-esteem. And when you're like that, you don't get great results in life. And so for many, many years, my self-talk was terrible. I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm not like that. I'm not this. I can't do that. And I quit everything when I was younger. It just led to, I beat myself up all the time and chastised myself for what I wasn't, and just awful stuff. And then my path to personal development helped dramatically change that. I still work on it every day, right? Because once you're wired a certain way, you got to work on that all the time. So Odd Mandino, who was one of my favorite people to study, I still read his Greatest Salesman book every day and have for like 25 years. I've read every book he ever wrote. Bought and read. It's a part of my library, and he was one of the first people I really studied. He calls these words of fools. Words of fools. And, I'm not afraid to admit that I was a fool for a long time because I use these words. And so I want you to know these words so that you can identify them and be conscious of when they're coming out of your mouth, because none of them are true. None of them are true, but, it's like anything else. We make them true if we operate based on those words. And so I'm going to give you these 9 so that you can have clarity on them, and then pull them out. Take them out of your vocabulary. And these are going to apply to basic stuff, to building your business or, any endeavor that you want to pursue. So first word is unable. Unable. I'm unable to do that. No, that's mostly not true. Again, I'm making this is a generalized thing, right? Yeah, if you say I'm unable to jump off of a building and fly, I would agree with you and wouldn't want you to test that. Although they're coming up with ways to do that. But in general, I'm unable to do that. But usually that's not when we use those words, because we don't even entertain that idea. We say I'm unable to do something because we don't have the skill yet, instead of saying I can learn that. I can learn that. At this moment, that's not going to be easy for me. That's going to be a challenge, but I can learn it. Right? That's an entirely different way of looking at it. So unable, that's a word of fools. Impossible. That word shouldn't even exist anymore, because everything around us, even what I'm doing right now, speaking to you through a video on a phone, right, that you're watching either on a phone or on a computer, 20 years ago would have been impossible, which meant it was never impossible. It just hadn't happened yet. It just hadn't been done yet. Somebody just hadn't thought of it yet or worked it all the way through yet. And that's the way it is with your dreams and your goals and your business. Is nothing is impossible unless you decide it is and don't act on it, right? So when you tell yourself that, you're gonna just push yourself down. So eliminate that word. Improbable is another word. It's improbable. Who cares what's probable and what's not probable? That's not based in reality. That's statistical, right? Human beings aren't statistics. We get measured that way, but we're not statistics, right? I don't know if you ever saw the movie Dumb and Dumber, when when Jim Carrey asked the woman if there was any chance that she would ever, where she would ever consider him, right? Because she's this beautiful woman, and and he was made to look pretty funny in this movie. And she says, 1 in a million. It's 1 in a million. That's your chance. And he's like, so you're telling me there's a chance, right? Because the truth is, statistically, you will hear all kinds of things in the world. That 3% of the people really achieve something. 1% do that. Does that mean you're like, oh, why bother? Because, there's a 97% chance that it won't happen for me. No, you decide You decide which number you're going to be. That's not written in any law. That's you that decides it. The people that are the 3% chose it, right? They chose it. They worked at it. They said, oh, if anyone else can do it, I can too. So they completely flip it. It's probable. It's been shown, right? Think about that. That's an entirely different way. Retreat. Retreat is another awful word, right? I'm going to retreat from... Don't retreat. Go into it. You have an obstacle? Don't retreat from it. Go into it, right? Hit it head on. Failure. Failure. Why even use that word? It's not a real word, right? Do we really fail? No. People quit. They don't fail. They quit. Right? There's no such thing as failure, right? If you really think about it, it's a state of being, right? I mean, it's if you really want to accomplish something, you do it until you do it, right? I mean, there isn't a failure. Or maybe you say, oh, well, you didn't reach your goal. Does that mean you failed? I don't think so, especially if you worked at it, right? Just take failure out of your vocabulary or reclassify it as a good thing. Like, I'm failing my way to success, right? Because I know I have to have people tell me no, and that's okay. But that's not even failure, right? Because successfully having someone tell you no is working the process. So failure, it doesn't even make sense as a word. Hopeless. This is an awful word. Like, this is a disgusting word. Saying the word hopeless, think about the context of that word. Hopeless. Man, that's a miserable word. Miserable. You don't ever want that to be uttered. Ever. You don't ever want that to come out of your mouth. You never want to do that because it's not true anyway. And the last one is quit. Never use that word, never think that. I get it, right? I once heard this said, and there's truth to it. If you never think about quitting, you're probably not working hard enough, right? I mean, that's true, right? Because when do you think about quitting? When things are difficult and frustrating and hard, and anything of value is going to feel that way. But just take the word out of your vocabulary. It's not an option. Quitting for me has never been an option once I got past being the quitter I was when I was a young person. At the age of 28, quitting came out of my vocabulary. And my life changed, right? Because my mentality was, I will. I have a goal to serve 1 million people at least in this industry. I won't stop until I do. I don't know how long that's going to take. If you share my message, maybe it's sooner, but I don't know. It'll be when it is, and that's okay, because I'm going to work at it, work at it, and work at it, and work at it. Or I'll die in the process, and then, I won't even know I didn't do it, right? So that's think about those. Those words, they're words of fools. You don't want to be uttering words of fools. So replace them with I can, I do, I am, I will. Replace them with affirmations, which is something Noah St. John teaches in his book, The Secret Code of Success. Awesome book, where he talks about affirming through or affirmations are not affirmations, which are statements, but they're questions, right? Why am I succeeding? Ask your brain, why am I succeeding? Why am I building a 6-figure income? Why am I getting to enjoy the fruits of working from home? And let your brain work on that. You see you're giving it questions to work on. Just another way to have your brain work. So I hope all that was helpful for you today. If you have not gotten my 27 scripts that work, make sure that you go to toddburry.com and put in your email and get those 27 scripts that work to consistently help you sponsor people. It will make a huge difference for you and anyone that you share them with, and it's a downloadable audio. And so you can listen to it all the time, but it would really, really help you. And those are all things that I proved worked over and over and over. It's how I built my multi-million-dollar organizations. Make sure also that if you need some coaching or you need some training, reach out to me and we'll talk about it. All right. Hope this is helpful.